Hey, Ben Norman here, and in today's video I'm going to be sharing with you my workflow on how to find video ideas for YouTube. It's not enough to just simply guess at ideas or pluck them out of thin air and then just go and aimlessly create a video around that topic and think that it's going to rank, people are going to find it, watch it and like it. It isn't as simple as that. Yes, you might get lucky and you might end up creating a video that kind of gets halfway near, but it's nothing quite like knowing that it's going to do well before you create that video, before you even start pressing the record button. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through my process of finding out what keywords to target, checking that it's going to rank well, checking that there's not going to be too much competition and that we're not going to get anywhere near the kind of first page of YouTube. So, we're going to give ourselves the best possible chance of creating content that people want and actually getting it ranked so people can find it, which are the most important things, let's face it. So before we get into it, I'd love to know, do you have a workflow? Are you doing research before you create videos, or are you just kind of plucking ideas out of thin air, or just kind of randomly going for it and hoping for the best? I'd love to know, so let me know in the comments below, and let's get into the video. I'm going to walk you through my process for working out what videos to create on YouTube. Okay, so if you've been following along with the previous videos, you know that when it comes to finding the best things to target on YouTube, you obviously come up with that initial idea. So for that, we're kind of keeping a list, however you want to do that. I keep my list in notes because it syncs across my iPad, my Mac, and also my phone. So wherever I am, whenever I have an idea, I can jot it down in my notes app under a different heading. When I talk about thinking of ideas in terms of playlists, for me, I already have a Shopify playlist. So whenever I create new video ideas, I put those in that Shopify playlist. Bit like I'm doing with my YouTube series, however I'm doing them one after the other, so it's a kind of follow along series. With Shopify, I do different videos as and when. So my main note title is Shopify, and then underneath I put down the different ideas that kind of pop into my head or things that get asked, videos that I want to record. But just because this is what I jot down does not mean this is what the video will be called or optimized as. That's where the next stage comes in. So from an ideas point of view, you want somewhere that you kind of note them when they come up, when you get asked them, when they pop into your head, almost like a brainstorm. You just chuck them in there. You then cluster the ideas into subjects, which you can use as playlists later on. So for example, like I said, Shopify is the playlist and these are the content ideas. This then gives me my seed list of ideas to start with, and that is where we come onto the research side. So in this video, we are going to use one of these as an example. I'm going to be doing a Shopify video, YouTube video, all about upsell apps, one in particular that I quite like. So I'm going to use this as my seed keyword. So I'm going to copy that. However, if you look at some of the ones that I've written down, reconverting lost sales, Shopify upsell apps, they say the same thing but using different terms. So what we want to identify is what people are searching for, what there is less competition for, so what we want to aim our video at. So for that, we're going to skip over to YouTube. For that, we're going to skip over to YouTube, and now we're here. We are going to pop our seed keyword in. So straight away, we can see here. Now, just a note, a previous video that I did on my 3 go-to tools for Shopify, you are going to want to have these installed. This data here, I can see because I've got the keywords app live that I spoke about. So without that, you are not going to see this data. Also, we're going to be using vidIQ, which is this one, and TubeBuddy, which is this one. So I'm going to be using all 3 of those apps. If you don't have all of them, that's fine, you can kind of get by, but you will want TubeBuddy or vidIQ at a minimum, really, just to make your life easier. So Shopify upsell app, we kind of hit that lucky. I'm going to click on that to start with and see what pops up. So like I said, Shopify upsell app is giving us 590 as a monthly search. It's saying what the cost per click would be if we were to bid on it and the competition. So we can see different trend data. Now as we search down here, you can see here, this is the detailed breakdowns for keywords everywhere, which is the app that's pulling the search history in. It just kind of goes a little bit more in depth, tells us how old it is, how many views, if the keyword's in the title, and who's created it. So here we are going to want to have a look down at vidIQ, which is one of our tools that we're using. That gives that search term a score of 67. So the volume is 45, so about midway, but the competition is very low according to vidIQ. So vidIQ saying, yeah, green, probably a good one to go after. Now we can see here that the average number of views that search term would get, the highest views, times that it appears in the title. So 4 times it appears in the title at the top 20 and 3 times in the description in the top 20. So you can see here, as we're going through, these are the kind of videos that if we were to rank, we would compete with. So the first step that we're looking at is to look at what vidIQ says and also what TubeBuddy says. Now TubeBuddy and vidIQ, if you watch my previous video about these tools, you will remember that I said they don't often agree. So TubeBuddy is saying it's fair. So it's saying the search volume is quite low and the competition isn't that high. Now, this is obviously being a little bit more strict in this scenario. But if we look at keywords, our keyword data here, we can see 590 a month. So 590 searches for Shopify upsell app. Now, if we could get that, then that would be pretty good. So normally you are going to have to work this keyword a bit. So we know that if we're looking at Shopify upsell app, the minute we start putting Shopify in, we remove these saved ones. Okay, so Shopify, if we start trying to write upsell, so we can see straight away Shopify upsell is the first one, Shopify upsell app is the second one. So, but there's also this one here as well. So when we talk about low hanging fruit and getting a good ranking with little competition, actually if you've got a new channel, so this one could work even better, because the longer the search phrase, the less people is likely will be trying to compete for it, because most people will just go for this. So if we look at the Shopify upsell at checkout and look at what the data says, actually vidIQ is not as happy with that, but TubeBuddy is saying good, because it knows the search volume is still poor, but the competition, there's hardly any. So this would be a good keyword as well. So what I would do is, these two keywords are both, as far as I'm concerned, good. So I'm going to note that here, and I am going to take these keywords a bit further. So what we're going to do now is look at the competition around these, because for me, having looked at that data using the predict through YouTube, so like I said, people are lazy when it comes to searching. I know I am with this. When we're looking at YouTube, people know roughly what they're trying to find, but they don't know exactly. So if we're starting to say, all right, yeah, Shopify upsell, you know, people are going to click on some of the ones at the top. We don't really want to be going off script if we can help it, because we want to capitalize on the lower hanging fruit as long as we're not getting as much competition. So for me, I think if you want to play it safe, I'd go Shopify upsell at checkout, or you could go Shopify upsell app. But what we could try and do is go for the Shopify upsell app as our main keyword, but then use Shopify upsell app at checkout as a secondary one. So what I mean is our title could be Shopify upsell app for upsell at checkout, something like that. So we're kind of including both of those keywords, and we would include them when we optimize as well. But what we would want to do in that case is, now we know that we're going to go for both of these based on these reasons. The only thing that I would say is, when you look at these and you kind of go, oh, green 69, that's going to be better. You've got to remember that yes, there is more search volume, but the competition for this looks higher. So because it's higher, especially if you've got a newer channel, you're going to find it harder to rank for that. So to start with, you're better off going for the for the terms that have less search volume but a lot less competition, to find your foot, get some videos that rank, that are on topic, and then start trying to go after search terms with more competition. So once I'm here, Shopify upsell, I'm going to go for upsell app. So we said Shopify upsell app is going to be the main one. So go for that. We're going to go for that as our main term. What I will do also while I'm here is I will make a kind of note at the thumbnails, because thumbnails, like I always say, are really important. None of these are particularly eye-grabbing. I mean, the one at the top, you kind of say, oh, okay, $19,490 from these Shopify upsell apps. You know, it kind of tweaks your interest. And also I'm looking at the keywords that are here as well, because these top two, I know that they are going after what I'm going after. Straight away, I'm picking out things like sweet upsell. I think is not really going to be a very good keyword to kind of put in there. However, generate more money with Shopify apps, best Shopify apps for 2019. Obviously, we go 2020. But this gives us some seed keywords. So what I do, again, because we've got vidIQ, we can click on this little paperclip, go over to our note app, bang, we've got all of the keywords that they're targeting with that video. The same with that for the second one. And then the next term that we were going to go after, we want to grab those keywords as well. Like I say, we're going to be looking at doing a hybrid. So we want to try and get what is good. Now, actually, if you notice as well, when we flip between those two searches, all that happened was these two listings for the top two switched. So actually, it just goes to show that by targeting one and the other, we stand a good likelihood of being able to get both. So what we want to do is take the best from them. I was going to come in here and look at the top couple and take the keyword data from there as well and paste it in. But because they are effectively the same, I don't need to do that. What I would then do is I will look at these videos and I will click into them, and I will watch both of these videos. So I want to basically go through their videos and work out what the good points were, what the bad points were. I'm going to look at how they've written their description. So straight away, I know that the app they're using is Bold Upsell app for Shopify. They're talking about different upselling and cross-selling examples. As we scroll down as well, we can also look through the comments. Now, top tip here, when you're going through people's comments, look at what they're saying the video misses, or look at questions they're asking. This is where you need to go deeper into the content so that you can fill that need. Also, you'll get a lot of people that will ask, like here, can you recommend a wish list app? Well, actually, that's a good idea. I would then take that and I would then put wish list apps into my my brainstorm note document, because I will come back to that later and maybe look at that for a video for myself. So we can look here at what ideas they've got, watch this video through for what content is good. Again, we're then going to go down to this video. We are going to watch this one through. We're going to check the description again and see what they're using, what upsell apps, what they're talking about. We can then go through and see what they're talking about. If there's any ideas in here, I cannot find variant, duplicate, suite, upsell, edit notification, etc. Can you explain their exact names or better alternatives? So what we can see straight away here is he's obviously not linked these tools in his description, which you should always do if you're talking about tools. When you're going through this video, I will be linking all of the tools that I've been using for all of the different apps, which is only 3 in this case. But like I say, watch the videos through, go through the comments, pull out the details for those, and make sure that by the end of it, you know what search term you're going after. If you've got a first option and a second option, you've got the keywords for those. And then also in here, we're going to put in any notes of things that we want to remember to put in our video, any standout points that they had in their video. So this is where we're going through our research. We want to understand the points that we want to cover, what we want to include in it, because we're going to need that for the next stage, which we'll be getting onto in the next video. Okay, so that is how I come up with my video ideas for YouTube. That's the workflow that I use for every single video that I create. I hope that helps you in your kind of research stage. I'd love to know if you've got anything that you do that you feel that I've missed. Let me know that in the comments below as well. If you've liked this video, make sure you smash the like button. If you're new here and you want more videos just like this, then make sure you hit the subscribe button. Like I say, this is one in a series of videos that I'm doing on my workflow for YouTube. So if you are interested in basically helping your videos do better on YouTube, then make sure you're subscribed and you've hit the bell to get notifications of when I release the next video in this series. And I'll see you in the next video.